Just do something to tell you who I am, you know?
Video number 3 on the health benefits of sugar. How do you have sugar in a healthy diet? Trying to break that log jam that there's a lot of this dietary boogie-woogie going on, scare tactics about how sugar is this evil thing and it's terrible and you shouldn't be eating it, and you know, someone sucks on a lollipop and they're like, oh my god, what have I done? How do I undo the damage? Relax, there's no damage. Video number 3 here. Largely what we need to consider is not the consumption of sugar, but the balance between sugar storage / consumption and its use. Again, this is a universal nutritional principle. Sugar is no different than anything else. Your ability to be healthy and well off is not about just what your diet is like. It's also about the utilization of the nutrients. And at the Red Delta Project, the ability to call something healthy depends upon your balance between the consumption and the utilization of it. Or in broken down terms, how well can you use it? Okay? If you consume something and your body can use it, it's healthy. Doesn't matter if it's a corn dog at the fair or an organic salmon fillet. If you can use it, it's healthy. If you don't have a need for it, it's potentially less healthy or unhealthy. Again, hot dog or salmon fillet. If you can use the hot dog, it's healthy. If you eat that salmon fillet but you have no real use for it, then it's either doing nothing or it's potentially bringing you some sort of detrimental effects. When it comes to sugar, one of the things we have to consider about storage is that, again, a lot of stuff in our dietary culture is very, very kind of dogmatic about it. The classic way of looking at it is you consume sugar, your blood sugar rises, insulin is released, insulin shuttles the sugar into your fat cells, which skips about 9 different steps in the actual way it's actually digested. First off, insulin is not a bad thing. There's so many things out there about control your insulin and not high insulin levels. Insulin is fine. Insulin is great. I love insulin pouring through my system. It's wonderful because if you don't, you die. Diabetics who can't produce insulin, just ask them. You know, you don't produce insulin? That's great. You must never get fat. Yeah, but I have to inject it into my body in order to keep living. Otherwise, bad things happen. As I said before, there are a number of storage methods of sugar in your body. It doesn't just go straight into your fat cells, which, little side note, everybody's talking about sugar going in your fat cells and that supposedly makes you fat. Just look at the digestive process for dietary fat, lipids. That literally is, it goes into your digestive system through bile and everything, it goes into your lymph system, boom, and straight into your fat cells. If we're trying to keep fat from going into fat cells, look at dietary fat. But I mean, I'm not saying fat makes you fat or anything like that. I'm just saying if we're worried about fat going into fat cells, sugar should be the least of our problems, based off of the digestive process. But anyway, I digress. As I mentioned before, sugar has a couple of sites it can go into. One is your liver, okay, stored as glycogen. Number 2 is your muscles, okay? If it can go into your muscles, it can't turn to fat. And then we have blood, which it's not really a storage place, but it is a place where sugar can go. And then finally, if all of those storage tanks are used up and all of them are full and everything is used, then it can be converted into fat. But it wants to go, if you eat a candy bar, that sugar wants to go into the liver, muscles, and blood first. If it can go into these, it will not go into your fat because it takes energy and time to convert it into fat. But it takes not much energy and resources to bring it into these storage tanks. It's kind of like, you know, going into a gas station and forcing and saying, okay, gasoline has to go into this car. If your tank is running on empty, naturally it's going to be easier to fill up the gas tank. But if the tank is full, then it's like, well, we got to put gas into this car. Now what do we do? Well, we got these milk jugs. We can put in these milk jugs. Oh, all right, fine. It's not ideal, but it can be happening. Those milk jugs are like your body fat stores, whereas these are your actual storage tanks. So that's why the storage to be considered, but also the use, which is what I will be diving into in the next video. Till then, be fit, live free.